Cultivate.
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 Cultivate. Cultivate.
We must learn to read, to stimulate our own imaginations, to cultivate our own consciousness.
We cultivate seaweed, and extract from it a nourishing gelatin.
And yes, I know, I cultivated it a little. The myth of Margot Roth Spiegelman.
Circumstances.
Oh, but Olivia is an educated, cultivated woman. One that befits a man of your artistic genius.
We learned to cultivate the sea as we came to farm the land.
Way to kill someone, isn't it? I mean, cultivate bees, feed them, and then poke the hive with a stick every time Hillary Taggart runs by?
Seems he's cultivated himself a niche.
And what is Alawadia?
A rare spiny plant cultivated primarily in Madagascar.
It's a skill we must cultivate.
Why would I do that?
I think Chang was wrong.
It would take an entire lifetime to cultivate enough power to cast a spell over an entire kingdom.
Do you know how she did it?
With a powerful magic that she cultivated with that most precious commodity, time.
Beef.
Beef. Beef.
Beef.
Beef.
Nesca.
What did you call me?
It's pasta. Pasta puttanesca.
Where's the roast beef?
Roast beef. Beef. Beef.
Beef, yes, roast beef. It's the Swedish term for beef that is roasted.
But you didn't tell us you wanted roast beef.
Your name came up. What, you guys had a little beef? Guy attacked me.
Uh-oh, got something.
Janice ran action figure.
So this beef between you two this whole time has been about a Barbie doll?
It's an action figure.
You tell.
Because I'm hungry.
Oh. Got some beef jerky. What?
Hold my hand.
He's nicknamed Tony the Butcher.
I bet he split a few sides of beef in his day.
Yeah.
Steak for dinner. Dry-aged porterhouse. When was the last time you even tasted beef?
Cat's one of a kind. You're a dime a dozen.
Speak for yourself.
So what happened? Why the beef?
I didn't appreciate him trying to gut me with a shiv last week. He said I was asking too many questions.
Up until now, we've been cool. Never had any beef with him.
It's a close file. I want to know everything about him before we get him in a room.
Is that an isolated incident? Or does he have some kind of beef going on with somebody on campus?
I'm serious. Give me the keys.
Look, homie, we got beef. You understand that?
Just give me the keys.
Recovery. Recovery.
Recovery.
Recovery.
Recovery.
His recovery time is insane.
I had a ringside seat to my mom's recovery attempts. I know all about accepting the things I can't change.
What are you doing here?
I wanted to see how your recovery was going.
Really?
Not moved, not smaller. Gone. He's going to make a full recovery. Simmons has been working around the clock on these. She assures me they'll cut your recovery time in half.
Go to the recovery room. Have one of ours take a look at you.
It wasn't something we could prevent, but you will make a full recovery.
Dawkins is driving a 2010 silver Chevy Malibu. Car's got a vehicle recovery system. Can you track it?
Hey, can we see him?
Not right now. The doctor said once he's stable, they're gonna move him to a recovery ward where he can have some visitors.
Wait a minute, you're an insurance agent?
Recovery specialist. And if you don't mind, I'd like to see Jansen right now.
You didn't even ask me about my recovery.
It's a recovery now.
Contentious.
Nice recovery.
All right, well, I'll let you know as soon as he's in recovery.
Thank you.
Big book. Alcoholics Anonymous. Sarah's in recovery.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Scholarship.
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 Gave me a scholarship. A scholarship. A scholarship.
I want to check Deke's file and see if he's on scholarship. Scholarship. Scholarship.
He's definitely not on scholarship. His family's super rich. He's a Bromberg.
What's it been, 6 months?
I need to get back on the field if I want to get a scholarship.
If it'd been better, you'd have got a scholarship out of state like I hoped for you, Leonard.
You know why? Because you are going to college. You'll definitely get in. You'll probably get a scholarship.
He's gonna get a scholarship somewhere. He's really good.
Oh, Mrs. Walden's been great, sir. Getting Dana and Chris into school, helping with their scholarships.
Great, thanks. It's just dealing with the SATs and the ACTs and that merit scholarship application everyone's so stressed about.
What application?
I went through college on a cheerleading scholarship.
What?
Yeah.
It's just some rich D-bags giving me a hard time for being on scholarship.
I want to know who they are.
Just like the way you are right now. Before you go off to your big fancy college, big fancy scholarship, the fans are gonna be screaming. And...
You're like Spud Webb out there. You play ball?
Uh-huh. Junior college, I had a scholarship, but I lost it.
Origin. Origin.
Origin. Origin. Origin.
Yeah, it's his first B. So.
Is the language of origin French?
Origin, origin, origin. That is a great stall. Don't spell it till you know it.
Authorities outside still don't know the composition or the origin of the dome. The origin of the dome. The origin of the dome.
Never seen. The origin of the uploads, the origin of the uploads, the origin of the uploads coming from hundreds of different locations. Until he uploads another video, it's gonna be tough.
We're in.
Can you feel it? You guys, do you feel this? Our origin story begins. We're gonna be superheroes!
Arms up. Do you know what this means?
We found an origin species and we can build an eye from scratch.
And the origin could have come from anywhere.
That's the origin of the famous law of natural equilibrium.
Feedback loop. I just need to pinpoint the origin of the loop, hone in on the pure transmission.
It's amazing how. Discovered the origin of his infamous keys.
Pliny the Elder described this vessel in his famous Naturalis Historia circa 77 AD, tracing its origin to ancient Persia.
Can you calculate a range?
Yes, sir. This broadcast has a different point of origin on land. It's further north.
Yeah, no coincidence there. If we get lucky, tracing its origin could give us some sort of insight into how to save.
Generous.
Generous.
Generous. Generous. Generous.
Thank you for being so generous, and for offering to help us make more money to accomplish our dream.
Generous and loving.
Oh, sorry, yes. Generous and loving. Generous and loving. Generous and loving. Now.
Apparently, we're in competition with one other family. A generous donation will ensure our kids beat them out.
How generous. Generous. Generous.
15,000.
Uh-huh. Brand new. Limited edition. A little anniversary present from my husband.
He's very generous.
I think her offer to be our surrogate was very generous.
Generous?
All she said was he was every woman's fairy tale. Rich, handsome, and generous. Well, that's very generous of you, Mr. Vaughn.
Accurate.
Tommy's been working very hard on that. It's very generous of you, Oliver.
It's truly not.
But with the generous donations you people are making tonight, we will come back from this tragedy.
You have failed this city, Mr. Mayor.
He's always been good that way. Your father's always been generous.
It's road. No, Claire, don't be. It was generous and thoughtful, just like you.
Please? Oh, no, I got this.
Oh, funny and generous. If my husband were more like you, maybe I'd still be married.
Wow, that's really generous of you, Jim. Thank you.
I don't want to exaggerate. She's been very generous in many ways.
Generous.
Victim.
Victim.
victim, victim,
victim.
And who am I?
A victim of the unfortunate vagaries of fate for which, I'm afraid, I am partially responsible.
I don't understand. Why would a chemical attack leave behind another person's DNA inside the victim? The victim, the victim.
You just saved me a trip to Star Labs. I got some info on our second victim. Name's Bill Carlisle. He was recently hired at Folston Tech to beef up their robotics division.
Robotics? That's just like the first victim. First victim. First victim.
Damage.
Guys, according to the software, there's an 82% chance your victim looked like this.
That's your idea of police work, huh?
Maybe this is the killer's half victim.
Who's a victim?
Rodney Hunter, 3-time loser, spousal abuse, identity.
You were a thief, you stole my heart. And I, your willing victim.
No one's listening.
Jacopo's no victim.
Although, let's not lose sight of the fact that you were the victim of a terrible accident, Antonio, so some discomfort is to be expected.
You're done being his victim. Because here's what we're gonna do.
It's a foul play. But I know he's just Vanch's first victim, and he won't be his last.
Sure. Can we connect the victims?
Young, pretty.
Got a victim on the first floor. Fell down some stairs. Possible spinal injury.
We're on it.
split, 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 split.
Dudes, let's split, split, split.
We need to split up. We need to split up. We need to split up. Green, Taylor, Tex. Take the truck and our gear. Follow the convoy. Ravit, Burke, come with me.
We should split up. We should split up. We should split up. I'll take Aiden back to the high school while you head back.
Fuck Fergus. That bastard would be singing like a canary anyway. This is a better split. 2 ways instead of 3. Fuck me.
Split up. It's either of them.
Should we split up?
Yeah. You go that way.
A man divided, split personality. Really, nothing.
The point is, we decided that we're gonna cool things off.
What, you mean split up?
Yeah.
Yet he hasn't come to visit once since arriving in King's Landing. I lay here, my face split in half, but Father never came.
If I ever see him, I'll split him in 2.
Reduction, reduction, reduction,
Deduction.
Reduction.
$350, and for me today, $5. That's a reduction I like. That's a reduction I like. That's a reduction I like. $5? Oh!
Actually, I'm a speech therapist. I specialize in accent reduction. An accent reduction. An accent reduction.
Side of assorted exotic breakfast meats and the chili sauce reduction. Reduction. Reduction.
The scarring should be minimal, but I'm gonna prescribe you a scar reduction gel to ensure that.
Fantastic liar, actually. When you thought he was partying next door, he was wearing noise reduction headphones and mapping out a strategy for every possible hand.
The council approved Kane's population reduction plan 3 hours ago.
How did you like that Chateaubriand? Isn't that a wonderful white wine reduction?
Now, I know you said you'd moved on, but there's been a significant price reduction in the house in Sullivan Canyon, which I know you love.
The engine's overheating because no one's down there to correct it. If the reduction gear blows, the ship will be totally useless to anyone.
When you talk about your extermination plan. Reduction option. Okay, whatever, look.
Blame. You and Jim and your insane reduction plan has people terrified. We're lucky only Wendell died today.
Brazil. When'd you get the works or just tummy tuck? Just a dick reduction, still too big.
Maximum.
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 Hired by the Federal Bureau of Prisons to test the integrity of their maximum security facilities nationwide.
There's longer takes. Yes, you know, Keanu. 10 minutes was maximum.
What will you take?
6 years, the maximum.
1 year, 2 years probation.
No.
You go for 3 weeks to Statesville first. It's a maximum security prison. That's where DOC will classify you either as minimum, medium, or maximum.
Counselor Abigail Griffin, you're under arrest for exceeding the maximum medical supplies allowed per patient.
It's awesome. Everything's maximum interesting.
If I keep digging, who knows what will turn up.
If Kramer digs up these things,
Neil could get the maximum
he could go back to prison.
for a long, long time.
He kept touching things.
If you don't want your equipment modified for maximum accuracy...
If we don't.
A woman whose only pleasures in life come from sex, TV cooking shows, and drawing maximum benefits from the welfare state. Hundreds a week.
Arrests? Traumatized.
Has to be support groups for kids who've seen shit like that.
Yeah, in maximum security prisons after they've mowed down half their class.
Aid. 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 Aid.
Aid.
It's just that you were his most trusted aide, most trusted aide, most trusted aide. Now, he trained you, right?
Well, sweetheart, I have money. I've got tall ships in Savannah. Aid from England. Aid from England. Aid from England. His third world ass is gonna mess with me?
Reese, I didn't aid or abet. Aid or abet. Aid or abet. I didn't know where he was, so I made the phone call to track him.
Have the ratings broken out?
No.
Okay, we'll slip it into a friend of the court brief. Just submit what you have now.
Yep.
Legal aid couldn't handle the appeal.
Around 25,000 young men displaced off. They became known as the Lost Boys of the Sudan.
Ops. Agent Vale.
Lucky ones managed to get into the U.S. and other countries through humanitarian aid.
Look, Evan, losing your scholarship doesn't mean someone's stealing. Schools cut funding all the time.
Of course, but if you look at the graph, it shows that the endowment stayed pretty even, while the financial aid has been dropping for the past 8 years.
So I was wondering if I could borrow your first aid kit. I've twisted my ankle.
She took care of me. She took care of all of us. She gave us first aid, water, found food, made shelter.
I love your macaroni sculpture. You're a very talented artist.
Let me know when you stop talking. I'll turn my hearing aid back on.
Naboo and Alderaan have a long tradition of providing humanitarian aid. I see no reason for conflict.
Nor do I.
Territory.
Territory. Territory. Territory.
Territory.
In the loop, I'm gonna order a Mason and Hamlin melodeon.
You'll have the only melodeon in the territory. Territory. Territory.
Where are we?
Hell, you boys is in occupied territory. In occupied territory. In occupied territory. You're 40 miles behind enemy lines.
The culpers had to travel with the Long Island Sound from British to American territory, to American territory, to American territory.
Sounds dangerous.
Oh, no. Portia. No, no, no. You're a second reader on my territory this season.
Yes, I know.
Yes. We seized territory in China, but did not Great Britain. Even Portugal preceded us.
She's like a living nightmare. I can't believe he used to be friends with her. Look, she's probably gonna pee on him just to mark her territory.
All right. All I know is this, man. Sirs ran on Omar's territory, all right? Now, I mean, he got mad, okay?
They put me through their own brand of special ops training, and then they dropped me in the middle of Taliban territory, posing as an aid worker with Shia sympathies.
It makes sense that we could carve up the northern papal territory between us.
Whole new territory.
You can handle that?
I've got it under control.
How can you stay here after the way she treats you?
She can be tough.
But it comes with the territory, right?
The bachelor party is strictly best man territory.
Revise. Revise.
Revise.
Revise.
Revise.
Even half of what Mom needed. Don't try to revise death. To revise death. To revise death. What did you want me to do? I wanted you to fight.
What do you want?
Slow, painful death by disease.
What?
I'd like to revise my earlier answer. Revise my earlier answer. Revise my earlier answer.
I need to revise my statement. Revise my statement. Revise my statement.
So, if you don't mind, you two can revise this while I handle a pretrial motion.
Okay, I'll revise the injunction.
Get a second?
No.
Got the revised billing statement on the visual case.
Then perhaps you better revise your definition. You can't expect Sherlock Holmes to relate to you the way others might.
Would you care to revise your answers? Because it would appear that Nelson Maddox has some connection to this gallery after all.
It's a gimlet. You'll love it. What exactly is your plan here to get me all liquored up so I buy the revised pitch?
Only if we fix the Wolfson report. They revised the column after I told them they had a leak.
Wish me luck.
No need. You worked hard. I just want you to have fun.
Thanks, Dad.
Also, I'd like to revise what I said to you in the car about biting.
Rack. Rack.
Rack.
Rack. Rack.
Your last present is on a towel rack in the bathroom. Delve into our facilities. Emerge a star.
Our hat rack fell through the window. Well, we do have a hat rack. We thought it would force us to wear our hats more.
Hello. You're beautiful. Your size is on that rack. It's on that rack. It's on that rack.
Oh, no, we're not looking for a dress.
Okay, there's a knife rack directly to your right. What are you doing?
This rack just moved.
I just saw two hobos fighting over a rack of lamb.
So while the top rack's being fired, the rack below that one can be loaded, and the rack below that one is allowed to cool.
Paul, don't rack your brain. I'm not asking you to get involved. In a Ferrari full of flight attendants?
Yeah, he's probably trying to rack up his frequent flyer miles.
Get over.
You know the rule. Turn your back on the rack, you're under attack.
Here we go. Pills and spices.
You have a spice rack full of pills? You gotta cook me dinner sometime.
Clean glass is coming through.
Nice rack. Now I know why guys like saying that to me.
At first, it's a blast. Buying a dish rack, hanging a sheet up to turn one room into two.
Booth says I shouldn't trust you.
And why is that?
Well, he says you like to rack them up.
Rack 'em up. How vulgar.
Evil. Evil. Evil.
Evil. Evil.
The kitty smell like pure evil. Evil. Evil.
Well, there is evil, Lena.
Yes, there are evil casters, Ethan. What? I mean, what are you trying to say, that there are no evil mortals?
It is on, okay? Downstairs versus upstairs. Good versus evil. Good versus evil. Good versus evil. Me versus you.
Stone cold killer, Oliver.
She's not evil. She's been lost since her father killed her fiancé in cold blood.
Him after what he did.
He's not evil. He kept me safe on that ship for over a year.
And then Gloria pops up as the evil village bruja, and she says, "Welcome to your nightmare." And then...
So sweet.
Come here. It's not sweet. I'm an evil cyborg. Half my face was burned off in an industrial accident.
You opened it, and you're evil.
I had to get out of there, Claire.
A man is good, or he is evil.
What are you?
Oh, good.
But there were other things that lived in the woods. Evil things.
Like what?
Evil notions come free.
Oh, I don't know. She's pure evil. We're gonna find this girl and send her butt into the pipeline.
Introduction.
Introduction. Introduction.
Introduction. Introduction.
I just wanted you two to have a proper introduction. Proper introduction. Proper introduction. Edward, this is our daughter, Kim. Kim, this is Edward, who's gonna live with us. Like me?
When this is all over, I would like a proper introduction. Proper introduction. Proper introduction.
It's his introduction, introduction, introduction into a world of hunting and killing, a necessary part of his legacy.
Would have appreciated an introduction. Bernard is the man who's responsible for acquiring our 10,000 native Atlantic salmon.
I'm Professor Radisson. This is Philosophy 150, Introduction to Philosophical Thought.
What about me? I don't get an introduction?
I need you to make an introduction.
Now, tonight's honoree needs very little introduction. It is neither his wealth nor his name that...
And since he's new, introductions will be made.
Liquid.
Liquid.
Liquid. Liquid.
Liquid.
And turn it into a protein liquid, and liquid, and liquid. We build a scaffolding to hold the liquid, and we cook it in an incubator to let it grow.
What is happening?
Oh God, is there gluten in this? Gluten, it's a liquid. 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 So, soy sauce is a liquid and it has gluten in it.
No. The CO2 freezes the liquid, freezes the liquid, freezes the liquid, crystallizing it.
Yeah, I know.
So how long?
Well, if we had a freezer, the condensed liquid would cool more quickly because, of course, this is an exothermic reaction.
You gotta be kidding. When Jackie fell on her head during cheerleading, she was on a liquid diet for days.
Please, it's really important. Look, I'd love to help you out, but I'm not very liquid right now.
Hey, Leslie.
Careful, Leonard. Liquid nitrogen, 320 degrees below zero.
Oxygenate him better, and then hopefully he'll get stronger. We could use liquid ventilation. Here I am.
The dragon. The liquid in the bottle, it worked.
It cured me, August.
Not exactly, but it is a liquid that can conjure courage, give strength, or even act as a love potion of sorts.
Comply.
Comply.
Comply. Comply. Comply.
You have 10 seconds to comply. Comply. Comply.
We do know you're in there, Mr. Frobisher. Please comply. Comply. Comply.
Harassment. Your wife forced me to perform sexual acts and threatened to fire me if I failed to comply. Comply. Comply.
Gentlemen, these are your rules of engagement. U.S. forces will comply with the law of armed conflict at all times.
Jed, reroute to St. Jack Wood. Tell social services the boys at Fort Lebanon.
Roger that, we'll comply. I asked him to allow me to complete my business in New York without interfering. He doesn't appear to be complying.
Did you comply with the demands?
Whoever it was, I just wanted to pay them off and be done with it.
And they said there would be penalties if I didn't comply.
Compromise. I feel the same way as you do, but a decision has been made, and I expect you to comply with it.
Mira wouldn't comply with that sort of command.
What guarantees can you give me?
Just one. If you don't comply with my demands, I will not only torture and kill your friends.
Hey, a guy like Utley, he's never gonna comply.
Failed to comply within the hour. And Barbie pays the ultimate price for his crime.
I see.
Truth be told, I'm happy to comply.
Around.
Around.
Around. Around.
Around.
Oh, would you show me around the village? Show me around the village? Show me around the village?
Yes, I would love to show you around. Come on!
There's only one way to find out. We should go to that lab and look around, and look around, and look around.
FBI, hands up! Don't move!
Turn around. Hands behind your back. Thumbs up.
We got scooters, we were just driving around, we were meeting people, and...
But practical mom is raising 2 kids on her own, and if she wasn't around most of the time, we'd be living in a box under a bridge.
I know you were worried about me, okay? But you don't need to be. Not anymore.
I need you to turn it around.
Don't turn around.
You remember that part where Marlon Brando's playing hide and seek with his grandson in the garden, and he has a heart attack right there, and the kid thinks he's still playing around.
Guess not. My name's Karai.
Huh?
See you around.
Basically, 2-legged sharks. Easy with them.
Do they hunt around here?
No, not usually, but...
Riley, step out. Sheriff wants a word with you. What are you standing around for?
I attract more women than a Labrador puppy. I have more chicks than a poultry ranch. I got so many girls around me, my nickname is Shoe Sale.
Vote.
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 What?
I feel like if you don't show up, it's a vote for her release.
I just think it's more realistic if I win.
All right, let's take a vote. Let's take a vote. Let's take a vote. Who thinks I should win the fight?
Take the vote. Take the vote. Take the vote.
Mr. Akers.
Yes.
Sir Christopher.
Joe and Duff Harris live here. He gets out the Negro vote. He does a lot of good for colored people.
Well, let's vote then. For acceptance?
I think it's time that we vote on whether to bar him.
I'm sorry. I don't think we should bar Jonathan.
I agree.
We'll vote on it.
Okay, because these are the same people who say that young people don't vote. Young people don't care about politics.
I have no concrete evidence, sir. But it is what we must do.
Based on what? Your vote of confidence?
Paula, you're just in time to start setting up for the slumber party.
Yeah, we took a vote, and you get to share my sleeping bag.
Scratcher, and Wisconsin is about this close to legalizing weed. It's just tough to get stoners out to vote.
Well, I can't say this feels like a vote of confidence. Kane's planning a secret council meeting to vote on the culling. I need to know where you stand.
I don't have a vote, you know that.
Rarely.
Rarely.
Really.
Really.
Rarely.
Arranged marriages are rarely so well arranged.
Do you think Mother will like him?
They rarely do in my experience. They rarely do in my experience. They rarely do in my experience.
You have a good deal of experience, do you?
This family of plankton created the coral reefs. Coral is a creature we rarely actually see by day. Rarely actually see by day. Rarely actually see by day.
The point is that the painting is so rarely reproduced. I don't even know if I've seen a reproduction, in fact.
Do you really think this is a good idea?
There are plenty of case histories of patients going back to where they suffered trauma. Actually, it's very rarely effective.
They are full of vague and glorious ideas on which they rarely deliver. Case in point.
Are you ready? Finished?
You know, people are rarely honest with me. I am. Are you?
I'm from Chicago myself. Lawndale is funny. Where I come from, brothers rarely see that type of green, so it's not reasonable, you know?
I love that feeling.
You've had it so rarely.
Yeah, well, you'll disappoint him soon enough.
If I made on that day, the results were not going to be good. Okay? I mean, these situations, they rarely are.
No, that would be very unlike her.
Laura rarely took from the trust. She didn't want the family money. It was a point of pride with her, you know.
Target of opportunity such as this rarely presents itself twice.
Agreed.
Saving.
Saving.
Saving. Saving.
Saving.
It was Zach who was ruining your life. I was saving you. Saving you. Saving you.
On behalf of the Nova Corps, we'd like to express our profound gratitude for your help in saving Xandar. Saving Xandar. Saving Xandar.
It's a fixed-rate CD set in at 2%. It's like a savings account. Savings account. Savings account.
This is definitely not me saving the world.
I want to thank you for saving my life.
That's a nice fishing boat. For a guy with a worker's pension. I've been saving for it.
To Paris.
No way, you're kidding.
Yes, I've been saving credit card miles for 8 years, and I finally have enough.
Oh. Well, in the end, Leonardo's aid was instrumental in saving my life.
I think we're dead.
And all that, whatever the hell we want, you just care about saving your own skin.
Thanks for saving me. Take care.
I get captured here. I'm not changing anything. I'm saving the statue. We can take them.
The selfish dragon warrior. Saving himself while others are left unsaved through his not saving them.
Okay, guy, hand over all your...
Thanks for saving me from those bandits. Here's your reward.
And I didn't get a chance to properly thank you for saving my life.
Oh, there's no need, Castle. We're partners.
Achieve. 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 Achieve.
Achieve.
In a mediocre play, Joseph Tribbiani was able to achieve brilliant new levels of, continued on page 153, sucking.
Right, like secrecy.
And ruthlessness.
No problem using others to achieve her own agenda. Achieve her own agenda. Achieve her own agenda.
She is not that bad.
Authority has always attracted the lowest element in the human race. They will submit to any indignity, perform any vile act, do anything to achieve power. Achieve power. Achieve power.
Now, she tried using our team to achieve her own ends. That didn't work out so well for her.
Now, I will only work for free until the firm is profitable, which I will work day and night to achieve. Once we're in the black, then I want my salary retroactively.
So what exactly are you trying to achieve, Calvin? I mean, she's 17 years old. You shouldn't have a conversation with her when she was like 15.
But I'm never supposed to actually achieve success.
Yes.
It's all about degrees. 33 to achieve enlightenment.
What are you getting at?
I think we need to look 33 degrees from this position.
All right.
What's there? The earliest estimate of the singularity, when man will be able to transfer his consciousness into machines and achieve immortality.
So you're upset about missing out on becoming some sort of freakish, self-aware robot?
Not such a great day in the infirmary today.
Aw. Did the overachiever just kind of sort of achieve?
Hemisphere.
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 Hemisphere. Hemisphere.
Was implemented. Left hemisphere, right hemisphere. Left hemisphere, right hemisphere. Left hemisphere, right hemisphere. Pilot control.
It's a pre-engagement. She's in the Coast Guard.
In Utah?
Yeah. It's the largest salt lake in the Western Hemisphere.
Salmon around ain't official. Whose job it is to fund terrorist operations in the Western Hemisphere.
Okay.
Every person in this hemisphere knew Mr. Zheng was your suspect.
In the past 2 days, I've kept a Russian company from gaining too much power in this hemisphere.
Oh, you really are Percy's bitch, aren't you?
Expand U.S. interests throughout his hemisphere.
That's a pretty big promise.
What are the risks?
Well, you're passing between two hemispheres, so there's a greater risk of injury.
Us?
You should have consulted us first before speaking publicly.
The press was on her doorstep, and the president was in another hemisphere.
It's to believe them.
Yeah, but what about dead men who make arrangements to get the information on that USB drive in the hands of every blogger and journalist in this hemisphere?
Eliminate. The symmetric floors are protected by armed guards and panoramic hemisphere cameras with 360-degree coverage.
Contradict.
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 Contradict the word of the emperor?
No, man.
Why not?
It contradicts everything I just said, John. Contradicts everything I just said, John. Contradicts everything I just said, John.
But unless you've got a witness who can contradict Mr. Holmes.
A DNA test will contradict you, but I don't think that's going to be necessary.
Well, I don't mean to contradict you, but getting it to her, impossible.
Which completely contradicts her confession.
Coming back after all these years contradicts every law of physics, biology.
She may be my aunt, but she's a dark horse.
No one will contradict you there.
I doubt he would contradict one of his ministers.
We'll see if he's willing to talk one-on-one.
But when you contradict me in front of Seth, it compromises my authority over him.